Innovation ensures that we adapt. It allows us access to new processes and ideas. Innovation is coconut brush to ceramic tiles, wood fire to electric stoves, washing machine, blender. These new processes and ideas are also a reflection of our culture. And through all the newness, it is our culture that gives us our identity as Jamaicans. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and this is your Jamaica Magazine. After the news, we'll be taking you on the road with the Jamaica Customs Agency and opening doors varnished in history.
Nicky baby, come here. You understand, so I have to send you guy your auntie so you can go to school and turn out better than me.
When I go be night time.
Piggy, come finish your work.
If you or anyone you know has been a victim of human trafficking, call 811 or 1-888-PROTECT. Be wise. Open your eyes. Spot them. Stop them. A message brought to you by the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, July 12. Property tax collection continues to outstrip projections. $3.7 billion has been collected in the first quarter of this fiscal year. That's $400 million more than the $3.3 billion collected for the same period last fiscal year. Finance Minister Audley Shaw says that if the collection trend continues, government will surpass the record-breaking $7.62 billion collected in the 2016-2017 fiscal year. He says the figure shows that Jamaicans are becoming more tax compliant.
The performance, therefore, indicates a maturity of our mechanisms as we move as a government toward more proactive and creative collection methods. But it also underscores the willingness of our citizens who are invaluable stakeholders in the process.
The Finance Minister made the comments at an appreciation luncheon for the All-Island Property Tax team in Montego Bay recently. The well-being of the country's visitors and citizens is being further secured with the launch of a tourism health initiative. The Tourism Health Information, Monitoring and Response Systems program will collate health information on visitors and workers of the industry at central locations such as places of entry. The data will be used to better manage the affairs of the sector's players. It's an initiative of the Ministries of Tourism and Health in collaboration with the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPA, and is jointly funded by the Inter-American Development Bank. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the program will promote the development of a sustainable and profitable tourism product in the Caribbean.
Tourism is measured in a far more complex way. It's not just the arrivals or the earnings, but it's a series of interconnected values that it gives in the very long and sometimes endless chain. And health is such a key part of that chain of connection, from which we secure the integrity and reputation of your destination.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says Jamaica's cruise subsector is still on a strong growth path. His statement follows the announcement of a temporary withdrawal of 2 cruise ships from the port of Falmouth in Trelawney. Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines has not included Falmouth calls for its new vessel Symphony of the Seas. Calls for its Allure of the Seas cruise ship will also be suspended between April and December 2018. In a press statement issued Tuesday, Minister Bartlett said that while Falmouth would lose some passenger traffic, the overall growth in cruise numbers for the Montego Bay and Ocho Rios ports would offset those losses and result in continued growth in cruise visitor numbers. Between January 1 and May 31 this year, Jamaica saw 885,231 cruise passenger arrivals, a 5.4% increase over the same period last year. That growth trajectory is expected to continue. Bee farmers in Hanover and adjoining parishes are now benefiting from a $27 million state-of-the-art honey extraction and bottling facility. Built by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, the facility was handed over recently to the Hanover Bee Farmers Cooperative Society. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, J.C. Hutchinson, says the facility will improve market access and increase earnings from honey production.
The opening of this facility is in keeping with the ministry's emphasis on moving primary production of agricultural produce along the value chain towards full commercialization.
The island's beekeeping industry has seen an explosion with 48,000 registered and managed hives, 247,000 gallons of honey produced, and the direct employment of 3,000 persons in 2016. And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has ordered an audit of the cell phone bills of ministers and ministers of state. This is to confirm the accuracy of information in the public domain about the high cell phone bills being incurred for roaming and data charges among ministers. The audit was one of the outcomes of a meeting Mr. Holness convened with ministers ahead of Tuesday's sitting of Parliament. Calling the situation unacceptable and one that needed to be immediately addressed, Prime Minister Holness also instructed that cell phone expenses be capped. The Ministry of Finance will, in a week's time, advise the minister on the appropriate amount for the cap to be applied to the minister's cell phone bills. Any amount exceeding the cap will be the responsibility of the respective ministers unless otherwise approved by the permanent secretary in that ministry. Once the capped figure has been arrived at, the ministers have agreed to reimburse government retroactively for the amount exceeding the cap. In the meantime, the Ministry of Finance will review and report on the respective policies for the provision of communication services, including cell phones operating in the various ministries. This is to allow Cabinet to make a comprehensive decision on how communication services and expenses for ministers are treated. And to further execute the Andrew Holness administration's frugal use of public resources, the Minister of Technology has been tasked with discussing with the island's telecoms providers a cell phone and data package for government ministers. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
The government has big plans for St. Thomas as it continues to drive economic growth and job creation. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation invites you to the Hope for Jamaica Town Hall meeting with Prime Minister the Most Honorable Andrew Holness on Thursday, July 13 at 6 p.m. at the Goodyear Oval in St. Thomas. Come and hear the government's plan for the economy as we build a prosperous Jamaica. That's the Hope for Jamaica Prime Minister's Town Hall in St. Thomas. Thursday, July 13 at 6 p.m. Taking government to you. Brought to you by the Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation, building a prosperous Jamaica.
The Jamaica Customs Agency has been moving forward with more structured and mechanized processes. In an attempt to inform customers of these steps toward innovation, the team will be hosting several meetings across the country. The first stop was St. Elizabeth. Here's what you can expect when they visit your parish.
The Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA, recently hosted the first of several visits across the country. The team was in the parish known for its rich history and food production, St. Elizabeth, at the St. Matthew's Anglican Church Hall in Santa Cruz. Representatives from the JCA Kingston and Montego Bay offices came prepared to inform residents about the developments within the agency and how it has been positioned to serve them better. These engagements are in keeping with the Jamaica Customs Agency strategy to expand their reach through public education. The main topic for discussion was import categories and the documentary and procedural requirements for all import classes. So, it's tradition for Jamaicans who visit foreign countries to pack a barrel with personal items and gifts for family and friends. These are classified as personal imports.
Items not manufactured for commercial use, imported for our personal use. What are we talking about? As you see there, food, clothing, household appliances, furniture, sofa, or a TV. what are commercial goods? Commercial goods are goods that are sold or traded, or it could be considered to be goods that are imported, of course, and for resale to the general public. Commercial goods can also be classified as goods to be used in business activities.
Charitable goods are meant to be charitable goods, goods that are donated to an institution and not goods that are benefiting to any individual or organization for any income. Charitable purpose includes prevention or relief of poverty, the advancement of education, the advancement of religion.
Charitable imports are afforded 100% waivers on import duties, GCT, special consumption tax, stamp duties, and only 50% of customs administrative fee is applied. Full import duties, environmental levies, and GCT is applied to motor vehicles, however.
Can you put a bag on the dresser for me, please, to do an examination? And what is this I'm seeing here? This is a turkey? But Mrs. Griffith, do you have a permit for the medication and for the turkey that you're taking, ma'am?
Agricultural produce, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, firearms, fireworks, human remains, and drones are on the list of restricted items and will require a permit from the respective organizations. These include the Ministries of Agriculture, Health and National Security, Pharmaceutical Regulatory Affairs Division, and the Kingston and St. Andrew Health Department. The JCA makes special arrangements for returning residents and students, deportees, and even the deceased. In order to make use of these arrangements, one must have the necessary documentary evidence to support claims of residency outside of Jamaica for 3 or more consecutive years. Qualified applicants can only benefit once from these concessions. Recipients of import should collect shipping documents from an agent and present these along with a valid ID and a tax registration number TRN card to a customs supervisor.
For those of us who are travelers, when we come to the airport, right? One of the things that we think about first of all, and we always want to ensure that we have, is what? The PD form, the yellow form, the C27 form.
The form is the document on which allowances are appropriated. This too should be presented to a customs supervisor. Travelers 18 years and older are entitled to this duty-free allowance form. The Jamaica Customs Agency has a wide cross-section of clients, and as such, they have implemented the Asikuda system, which allows for a faster, easier, simpler, and more business-friendly environment. The system makes it possible to process transactions electronically. These transactions include application for licenses and permits, automated approval, online payment, and automated risk assessment. The agency also facilitates a door-to-door delivery system, which is a simplified process for small shipments.
You can stay right here and have your shipment cleared without you traveling to Kingston or traveling to Montego Bay or traveling to St. Anne.
The meeting was very interactive and allowed for a question and answer section.
I have a truck on the wharf. I ship it here. And for instance, no one contacts me. I get no information. Nobody told me how I should go about it. The shipper put a broker on me. I want to know, do I have to use who the person gave me?
There is always the accommodation by the JCA if you so wish to have your custom broker changed. Pretty sure that customs will make some accommodations for him.
I'm Orlando and I'm asking a question on behalf of the youths, right? I listened to everybody and I want to know, how do you get the youths involved in the Jamaica Customs Agency?
What Customs is doing now, working in tandem with the Caribbean Maritime University, Customs draws from that pool of persons who are being trained. In fact, a part of them getting their degrees is that they must do community service, and so Customs fosters these students.
In addition to that, a customs program is offered at the Caribbean Maritime University as well as the Sam Sharp Teachers College in Montego Bay. The Jamaica Customs Agency intends to partner with you to make your customs-related activities stress-free. As they continue their public education initiative, join them when they come to your neck of the woods. Take the opportunity to go out and be informed.
Let's celebrate Jamaica to the world. Fastest man in the world. First Jamaican woman to win gold in Olympic 100-meter sprint. An upcoming global superstar. Mouth-watering meals. And a vibrant set of people. We are Jamaicans. Let's get together and bring back the love.
What's in your wardrobe? Add some irie colors, red, green, gold, and represent Jamaica's culture by sharing in the spirit of togetherness for its 55th year of independence.
This year the fashion turn up loud, with enough and plenty, colorful and proud. Color up the thing with black, green, and gold. Add some red, that's brilliant and bold. Yes, man, we're the vibes, it's 55. Rally round the red, green, and gold. Dressmaker and designer, we want you to sew church clothes, casual clothes, evening clothes you can show.
We all know disasters put hard-won development achievements at risk. They reverse economic growth and hinder progress. Disaster risk reduction is about protecting lives. It is about protecting our communities, schools, churches, organizations, property, businesses, industries, and livelihoods. We encourage Jamaicans to take personal responsibility and make better decisions about where we choose to live, how we choose to build, how we choose to dispose of our waste, and how we care and protect our environment. It is all about preparing more and repairing less.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
How many times have you used the phrase, "it's history"? Something to be forgotten. What about the history that remains and continues to fuel the present? One such contributor is the National Heritage Trust building. Here's more.
The Jamaica National Heritage Trust is more than just a building that houses artifacts. It's a symbol of our post- and pre-independence period. Also known as Headquarters House, the JNHT is just one of many buildings that tell the story of our rich history. It got the name because it was once the military headquarters of the War Office in 1814. The building was constructed in 1755 and was home of Thomas Hibbert. On November 12 that same year, the Legislative Assembly met there while Hibbert was acting as Speaker. It later became the seat of government and the office of the Colonial Secretariat from 1872 to 1960.
The government of the day in 1872 decided to move the capital from Spanish Town into Kingston. This became the center of governance. This is where the Legislative Council used to sit. And after 1944, this is where the beginning of governments by the Jamaican people, elected through universal adult suffrage, became the seat of governance. After 1944, we had a number of other constitutions which led us to self-government and ultimately to independence in 1962. So it was in this room that Bustamante and Manley and other great luminaries of the legislative period of governance from 1944 used to persuade their party members to vote in their favor. And as a result of a combined effort, we agreed to become independent, and we negotiated with Britain for the purposes of independence on June the 6th, 1962.
The size of the chamber would suggest that the number of government officials were few.
As a result of independence in 1962, the government also decided that they needed a new building to hold a larger parliament, and that's why Gordon House was created next door. So that's the joining relationship between this Legislative Council building, which is now the headquarters of the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, and Gordon House next door, in which our parliament sits. It's a very exciting corner of Jamaica, a very exciting corner of Kingston. And of course, the political parties today, when they march to Gordon House, one party moves from Headquarters House, as it is still known as, and the other party moves from the northern side of Duke Street and comes together in the Parliament. The cabinet room, or the room in which the government ministers sat, is upstairs, is in fact the boardroom of the trustees of the Jamaica National Heritage Trust. Today, the building is used for a variety of different purposes, which include the storage of artifacts, as well as the various departments of the Jamaica National Heritage Trust. So it continues to be a very important building of history and heritage for our people. The fact that it was built in 1755 means that over these last 250 plus years, it has been subject to all sorts of natural disasters, including a fire next door which nearly took it down. So hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, and other natural disasters, this building has been able to survive them all.
Did you know that it was from this building on October 12, 1865, that Governor Edward John Eyre planned his attack against the St. Thomas freedom fighters? He declared martial law from this house on Friday, October 13. And it was also here that the Right Excellent George William Gordon was arrested in 1865 and taken to Morat Bay, where he was executed.
Violence against women and girls is a human problem, not just a woman's problem. It's a problem for men too. Gender violence takes many forms, including sexual assault, domestic violence, relationship abuse, sexual harassment, and sexual abuse of children. The magnitude of ongoing violence against women and children in our country is cause for alarm. We can end the violence. It requires all of us to end the violence. I call on all our men and women in Jamaica to take a stand. And men, especially, must get involved in this movement to create a better world for their daughters, their mothers, their sisters, their aunts, their uncles, their fathers, their sons, and for themselves. Let's protect and reassure. Let's unite to end gender violence.
The world is ripe with beliefs, art, music, and other cultural expressions. Let's not lose that which identifies us. Incorporate it in your plans for newness and growth through innovation. Get to thinking, creating, and building. JIS is here to help with your processes. Keep us in the know on all social media platforms. Visit our website, jis.gov.jm, or send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Good evening.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.